Ma ciao, come state belle faccine? And that's all I'm gonna say in Italian for this episode. I'm sorry you guys, I'm sorry Italian friends. But this time I'm gonna be traveling to another country and I would like this episode to be for you, for me, and for the entire human race. See you there! And so I'm heading to Warsaw in Poland for the unveiling of a very, very cool project. And I thought I should really talk about this one. Not just for how crazy it is, cause it was kind of crazy, but also cause I believe it reflects some very big changes that we have been seeing around for the last couple of years. Just wait. Poof! But let me go back with the story a little bit. It was over a year ago that we got contacted by a talent scouting company that was looking for startups all over the world for an important project. All we knew was that the challenge related to an important multinational corporation that had to do with furniture and interior design from Sweden. Who could it be? So we got selected and we won. And that's usually the moment where a startup, after a califer celebration, realizes how easy it is to be eaten. And so it has to act cool by showing the expected collaboration that goes by its name, while at the same time defending its idea trying not to be eaten by Goliath. So I really felt I wanted to start with the right foot, and I proposed a meeting where we could get to know each other a little bit more. Through the years I learned that whatever feels humanly right has to stand in front of professionalism. So this is the day. We've been working quite a lot. Press today, so everything needs to be right. But I think we'll get there. Guarda i 3 dell'Ave ma 4.
No, dai.
3 dell'Ave 4 dell'Ave.
Argomenti totalmente inutili che approfondiremo.
So we met, only to find out that behind David and Goliath are normal people, just excited to start a new project together. It was very easy to forget that we were belonging to two different worlds, as much as we soon forgot our client and supplier role. And you might already know who took benefit of all of this. The project. So what was the project about? This is always hard to explain. I guess it's just easier to show it to you. This is a sensorial immersive room. And due to the audio and visual frequencies that it's able to generate, if you lay in that bed for more than 10 minutes, you'll come out with a higher IQ and you won't need any instructions to install IKEA furniture whatsoever. Yeah, they won't let me say that. Well, then it's a dream room that will slow down your hectic compulsive shopping, so to suggest a more relaxed state of mind, while you can think about what you really need in life, about your well-being, and start to consider the need of a better sleep. In order to reach this goal, we changed the idea many times. We needed to pivot. We needed to be elastic and open-minded, because nothing like that had ever been done before at IKEA. We were basically aiming at a new slow shopping experience. You know, like the slow food movement tries to contrast the bad habit of eating fast food. We are fighting the high-frequency shopping trends by proposing human-centered experiences that put people back where they are supposed to be, in the center. But bando alle ciance and let's go back to the topic of cooperation. Here is what 3 representatives of the project have to say about it. The world is changing fast. See?
I'm Gosia and I work in the innovation hub, big brand IKEA.
I'm the small startup from Italy and we're called Goliath.
I'm a neuroscientist. Once we met, I realized that we can put the retail into completely different level. We can immerse our customers to sensual world, and that will have the impact. And we will change the world together.
Yeah.
It's just about the human.
And it really is about humans. The cool thing of my job lays on the fact that we deal with emotions, an universal language that is similar to everyone, no matter who you are in society, what your profession is, or how much money you own. You are simply a human being. So I wanted to take the time to think about the difference between a startup and a big company. Okay, because there must be a difference somewhere, but there's a lot of misconceptions about it. First, people think that a startup is the one that hasn't found a way to make money, but they have fresh ideas, they're very young, and they are playful. While the big company is about white collars, very grayish, they can't play anymore, and they have to milk the cash cow, right? Well, in my working experiences, it has not been like that. I mean, I don't have a big company, but I work with some, and I found that in many situations, people are very playful, they got some very cool attitude, and they could run a startup inside the big company. Because I mean, if you have the money, what would stop you from just opening a spin-off and making it a startup? Put some young people inside and just let them do what they need to do. I mean, what's the difference? So Andreas Winiarski, he says that the difference between the two is that the startup is like a baby, while the big company is the adult. And the adult is not supposed to be playing. But again, I don't find that to be truthful. So maybe, just maybe, what it could be about is about the context. I mean, sometimes, even though you're a big company and you're able to open a spin-off, it could be hard to make the people feel like they can do whatever they want. So where I want to get is probably the fact that we shouldn't be talking about business to business anymore. We should be talking about human to human. And that's because it's human that make the business, right? I mean, if you have some people in front of you and they have attitude and they behave in a childish way and they're a part of a big company, then what's the difference? Are they a startup or are they a big company? So that's why I'm saying it's the context. If you can have people to behave in a very free way so that they can push their ideas, their projects ahead without being scared of it, then here you go, you have a startup. You know, it's just people. Once you realize that, then you can sort of take advantage of both worlds, because there are differences, right? I mean, the startup doesn't have a way to yell to the world that they got something new there, right? When the big corporation, they might not be able to pivot that much. Like, if I need to change and I need to move towards a different direction, a startup can do that straight away. They don't have to call the board and say, we should be going somewhere else. They just do it. So that's what I like about this project. That's what I like about working with big companies. Because we can pivot and find ways to deliver ideas, while the big company can make that idea become a real thing out there in the real world. And that's how you conquer the world, right? Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Good. Perfect. I'll see you around. What about you? How many times did I tell you not to get in there? How many times? I mean, come on. Jeez.